Hello students, in previous session we have studied the application of blockchain, how the blockchains can be used for cross-border payments. So we are studying the unit 4. In unit 4 we have to study the enterprise applications of blockchain. We have to study how the blockchains can benefit in cross-border payments, know your customer supply chain management, uh, these various applications that we have to study. We know the benefits of blockchain. Blockchain is a distributed ledger. This ledger is uh, available on every node. Every participant can view the transactions. The blocks are more secured. The blocks cannot be tampered once the data is stored in the ledger. That data cannot be tampered. If hacker tries to tamper, hacker has to hacker has to change every transaction, every block in the blockchain. That is practically not possible. So blockchain offers more security, transparency, scalability, immutability. So these are the various benefits of blockchain, and these benefits are applicable to all the applications of blockchain. So here we have to study one of the enterprise application of blockchain, that is know your customer. So this is the syllabus of unit 4. It contains enterprise applications of blockchain, blockchain based cross-border payments, blockchain based KYC, food security, mortgage over the blockchain, blockchain enabled trade, supply chain financing, and identity on blockchain. So these applications, various case studies we have to study in unit 4. So in the previous session we have studied the cross-border payments, and in this session we have to study how the blockchain can benefit in KYC verification and anti-money laundering. So we will start with what is KYC verification. So what is know your customer, or we can say anti-money laundering? So KYC from the launch of Aadhaar based verification in India, everyone knows term what is KYC, because for KYC we have to produce the documents everywhere in banks and in various organizations. So KYC and anti-money laundering compliance can be considered as most costly policies to implement and maintain. So KYC implementation is not very easy because there is a central controller, uh, like in India UIDI, Unified Identification, that is Aadhaar. That has the central control, and we have to get the permission from that central authority for KYC verification. So furthermore, it is the one of the factor holding back the financial innovation, as early stage startups have to deal with the complicated processes. So whenever we want to start the business, or uh, any bank, private bank, or any small microfinancing company, we have to deal with this complicated process of KYC verification. In India or in anywhere in the world, we have to verify the customer, and this process is costly, and we have to hire compliance teams and pay huge amounts to the KYC data providers. So we have to pay the huge amounts who will provide the KYC service. And while many digital banking platforms already come with the KYC and AML modules in place, there is still a gap to close before the full automation. So current KYC processes also entail substantial duplication of effort between the banks and other third-party institutions. So our KYC information is duplicated everywhere. If we go in some government organization, banks, and employers and various organizations, everywhere we have to produce our KYC documentation, and this information is duplicated everywhere. Uh, and while for this compliance costs are high, and there are also large penalties for failing to follow the KYC guidelines properly. So if bank don't follow the KYC guidelines, then there is a heavy penalty for the various financial institution. So this process is very costly. So we will see how the blockchain can benefit in KYC verification and anti-money laundering. So KYC verification is costly process. The average bank, spends 40 million a year on KYC compliance, according to a recent survey by Thomson Reuters, which also revealed that some banks spend up to 300 million annually on KYC compliance, anti-money laundering checks, and customer due diligence. So huge cost is associated with KYC verification, and since 2009 regulatory, or you can say government agencies, particularly in the USA, have followed an upward trend with record breaking files lived during the 2015. So government imposes a record high amount of fine if particular organization don't follow the KYC guidelines. And in 2009, record breaking fine is collected in USA for violating the KYC guidelines. So ongoing regulatory change with no one internationally agreed standard makes it increasingly hard for banks to remain compliant. So there is no internationally agreed standard for KYC verification, and it makes hard for banks uh, for KYC verification. So thus, as it can take such a long time to onboard a new customer because of lengthening KYC procedure. So when we go to the banks, and if we don't have the KYC document, or either we provide the KYC information, at that time also it takes a long time for KYC verification, and uh, this is having an increasingly negative effect on the customer's experience. So KYC, as we know it today, we know that how the identity can be established. We can provide different types of documents like passports, driver's license, Aadhaar card, and various other identity cards provided by the governments that can be used for KYC verification. So identity can be easily established by government issued documents such as driver's license, social security cards, or passports. Uh, However, a major challenge lies in establishing the authentication of other identification sources. Also, flaws in the security of such system. If there are lacunas, there are some errors in such kind of documents that has led to repeated instances of financial fraud and money laundering. So if that documents are false, then it results in repeated instances of financial fraud and money laundering. So establishing identity through KYC verification is a prolonged process. It's a time-taking process. A huge amount of paperwork is associated with undertaking such kind of procedures. So global efforts to combat financial terrorism and money laundering have proved to be incredibly expensive for both governments and financial firms. So recent reports highlighted that in 2014, firms spent an incredible 10 billion on anti-money laundering compliance alone. So the agencies, government agencies and other private agencies also has to pay lots of amount, has to spend lots of amount for KYC verification and anti-money laundering compliance alone. And if there are some errors, there are some faults, then it results in repeated instances of financial fraud and money laundering also. So KYC blockchain, we don't have what are the benefits of blockchain. Blockchain is a central ledger. Data is stored on the ledgers. Everyone has copy of the ledger. It is difficult to tamper the blockchain. So this data is stored at decentralized system, and this ledger is available with all peers. So this concept of blockchain can help in every application, not only in KYC verification, also cross-border payments and other supply chain management also. So we will see how the KYC blockchain can benefit than the traditional methods of KYC verification. So although the financial services sector has been seeking solutions for the identity problem for a long time, and it is only now that a viable solution has arrived in the form of blockchain. So financial institutions are looking for alternate solutions for identity problem from long time, and the solution has arrived in the form of blockchain. So blockchain is a decentralized computing architecture. Blockchain will allow for the accumulation of data from multiple authoritative service providers into a single immutable, cryptographically secured and validated database. So we know the blockchain allows the collection of data from multiple sources and into a single store, that is ledger. That ledger is immutable and cryptographically secured and validated database. So KYC verification using blockchain has the potential to be faster. The KYC verification using blockchain will be more faster, more easier, more safer, more efficient than the traditional verification procedure. So we will see one by one the benefits of blockchain KYC verification. So you can see the figure. There is a how the blockchain saves the cost, time and effort if we use the blockchain for KYC verification. And you can see also the cost associated with the centralized databases. If centralized system maintains the record of all KYC documents, so it will cost more and time required for verification is also more. So in centralized databases, customer submits a KYC document to the bank, and bank forwards KYC document to the centralized authority for verification. So centralized authority will verify the KYC documents, and for verification it incurs cost. It takes a cost. It also consumes a time. So this process is more complicated, and we rely on centralized authority. We depend on the centralized authority. But if you see the blockchain at the right side, the data is stored in the ledger. Everyone has the access to the ledger. Customer uploads KYC document, KYC data to the blockchain, and this data is available to the every participant of the blockchain, and everyone can verify, validate the data, and that data is more secure. If there are any changes in the KYC document, that changes can be immediately notified to all the parties in the blockchain. So blockchain saves the cost, time and effort for KYC verification. So we will see in detail how the blockchain benefits in KYC verification. So what is KYC blockchain? Blockchain technology allows for the creation of distributed ledger that is then shared to all users on the network. So once we create a distributed ledger of KYC document, this ledger can be shared among all the participants on the among all the users on the network, and this factor means that there is no one single authority, and therefore a point of weakness as in the client server model. So there is no central authority in the centralized system. This block copy of the blockchain is available to all the stakeholders, and immediately if there are any changes in the KYC document, that can be immediately noticed by all the participants in the blockchain. So this means that blockchain databases have an inbuilt immutability that makes the data that they contain far more trustworthy. So data in the blockchain is more trustworthy because that data cannot be altered. It is not possible to alter the data, because we have to, if a hacker wants to alter the data, it has to make the changes in every transaction, in every block in the blockchain, and that is not practically feasible. So such databases can be used to store ID details of individuals, which would be completely trustworthy. So if the financial services sector, for example, implements blockchain for KYC verification, they will be able to verify users quickly and reliable via an app. Due to the reliability of blockchain databases, government institutions and companies could rely on the data completely, something which would remove the need for any further ID checks. So these are the benefits of this KYC blockchain verification. So we will see the benefits one by one. So you can see the figure. There is a KYC registry, or you can say ledger, where the KYC information of the clients is stored, and everyone has the access to the KYC registry, and there is no need of duplicating the information. It is available on the ledger, decentralized ledger. Everyone has the access, and there is no need to produce the KYC documents again and again. Once the documents are available on the ledger, that documents can be accessed by every participant of the blockchain. So you can see there is a KYC registry, and everyone can access all the banks, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3, then other organizations also, company registries, tax authorities, judicial bodies, credit rating agencies, and stock exchanges. Everyone can access the KYC document. So how a KYC blockchain application would work? An institution or a bank, for example, sends a request to the blockchain platform to access your identity data. So any institution which wants to verify your KYC, that will send a request to the blockchain platform to access your identity data. And in this new architecture, data access would be solely based on the user consent. If user gives the consent to access his KYC documents, to grant a consent, user only has to log in, and probably through a one-time password, and allocate a private key to the data. And although the data can now be accessed by a third party, ownership of the data remains with the user, because of the data is signed by the private key. The concept of the blockchain-based KYC platform is already being implemented by IT giants like IBM. IBM has already implemented this concept of blockchain-based KYC verification, and the shared corporate know your customer project assures an efficient, secure, decentralized mechanism to validate, collect, store, refresh, and share KYC information for customers. So this is the solution provided by the IBM for KYC verification. Then how can blockchain help with KYC verification? What can be the benefits of KYC based blockchain? So that benefits we will learn one by one. Blockchain based KYC utilities will help bring cost savings to any industry that relies on the identity verification. So blockchain based KYC verification will bring the cost savings. Also blockchain based uh, verification will save the time also, and it provides more transparency and scalability as compared to the traditional uh, KYC verification method. So you can see the key benefits of KYC based blockchain. The key benefits are distributed user data collection. We can collect the data from any sources, automation and standardization of policy or operations, governance and data quality. Data quality is more accurate, data is more accurate, data is more secure. Then communication and transparency, suspicious activity reporting and comprehensive authentication process. So we will see these benefits one by one. We will discuss the benefits in detail. So first benefit of blockchain based KYC is that distributed user data collection. So a KYC utility system based on blockchain technology will enable the financial and banking system sectors to liberate the process of identification process. So the banks or other organization will not depend on any financial any centralized authority, but they will free from all this central controller, and they have their own blockchain based uh, KYC verification method. So this is because presently our data is collected and stored in a centralized system such as a repository, and access to this data requires KYC providers to share their client data with the companies needing to access it. So presently there are the KYC providers like UID in India. We need to access that data, and if the KYC providers provide the access, then we can only verify the KYC of the customer. So with the introduction of blockchain solutions to handle the KYC process, data will be available on decentralized network and can therefore be accessed by third party directly after permission has been given. So in blockchain based solution, data is available in the ledger decentralized network, and if the access is given, that data can be directly accessed once the permission is given. And this blockchain based KYC system will also offer better security by ensuring the data access is only made after a confirmation or permission is received from the relevant authority, and this will eliminate the chance of unauthorized access and subsequently gives individuals greater control over their data. So this is the benefit of blockchain. Then second benefit of blockchain is automation and standardization of policy or operation. So taking into the recent progress actually on KYC policy standardization and ever increasing amount of data being collected, large amount of documents data is collected due to this KYC verification, and there is no any standard policy. So it is now possible for blockchain solutions to make use of smart contracts for the execution of control and operational processes. So we know the smart contracts. A smart contract is nothing but the business logic, and that must be satisfied, that must be met before allowing the transaction. So in blockchain based KYC, we can use the smart contracts for defining the policies and operations. We can put conditions and parameters in smart contracts uh, for KYC verification. So KYC workflow routing can be coded into smart contracts. So KYC, whatever the KYC workflow that we can code, we can put into the smart contracts and standardize across the industry, thereby streamlining the procedure. We can streamline the KYC verification process, and this will increase the effectiveness of the blockchain based KYC system, as it would reduce the need for manual oversight. Then governance and data quality, as the blockchain is more secure, the blockchain offers more better data quality. Blockchain offers a robust hurdle against fraud, once entered data on the blockchain ledger, the data cannot be altered. Data stored on the blockchain is secured by cryptography and cannot be altered without agreement by more than 51% of the network. It is not possible to alter the data, and for altering data we require the 51% of the participants should agree to change the data, and that is called 51% attack. So it is not possible. It is practically very difficult to alter the data. So a blockchain solution on the other hand would allow the creation of ledger that would allow the data to be stored on a single universally accessible platform, that we call it as a ledger, and data could therefore be accessed by anyone with authorization, and this would lead to an improvement in data governance that could help institutions identify fraud earlier. So we can identify fraud earlier using the blockchain based KYC, and this would help prevent many of the financial crimes that banks face today, and help them avoid hefty fines that are brought about as a result of compliance failures, KYC compliance failures, or anti-money laundering compliance failures. The next benefit of the blockchain is communication and transparency. So blockchain based KYC platforms will allow for the active monitoring of everything from account openings to the day-to-day transaction. So everyone can actively monitor the operations on the blockchain, because everyone has the copy of the ledger, and when combined with smart contracts that will have predetermined criteria to spot fraudulent activity, these new platforms will be able to alert the banks to any wrongdoings. This ledger it is difficult to tamper the ledger, and we can monitor every operation from account opening to all the day-to-day transaction. And if we put some conditions, some parameters, some workflow in the smart contract that can predetermine the fraudulent activity, that can predetermine the frauds, and these new platforms will be able to alert the banks for wrongdoings using the blockchain based KYC verification. So the ability to trust data stored on a KYC blockchain software solution removes the need for secondary validation processes and for or cross checking. So there is no need of secondary validation process or cross checking in blockchain based KYC verification. A distributed ledger system makes the reporting and communication process more efficient, and it saves time and money, and since parties can easily access the reliable data from the ledgers, processes, mistakes and frauds can be detected far more quickly in blockchain based KYC verification. And this is particularly true when it comes to mistakes, which with conventional systems take a lot of time to be identified, reported and solved. Another benefit of blockchain based KYC verification is suspicious activity reporting. So currently the banking KYC process takes days or even weeks, and due to this cost incurred by financial institution in maintaining regulatory compliance is escalating rapidly as the industry tries to stay ahead of the financial fraudsters and terrorists. KYC verification takes traditional KYC verification takes days or even weeks, and cost is also more, and if the companies violate the KYC guidelines, then that will result in a huge fine, and late verification of KYC documents may result in financial frauds. So with a shared ledger where numerous financial institutions are maintaining the ledger, the process of KYC could be easily adjusted and monitored by all parties. So in distributed ledger system, everyone is monitoring the KYC verification. Any change or update to a client's data would be available to all parties immediately, and having direct access to a shared ledger would help institutions save on time intensive process of having to having to identify scam and reporting it. So this is the we can early detect the suspicious activities, and we can report such kind of activities early using the blockchain based KYC verification. Then comprehensive authentication process. This is one of the benefit that the blockchain based KYC verification provides. A cryptographic verification solution will help financial institutions quickly verify the identity of individuals. So we can quickly verify the identity of individuals by using the blockchain based solution. This is essential for data protection, compliance, as well as fraud prevention. The security offered by blockchain's decentralized model makes the chance of fraud much less likely. So there is a very less chance of fraud in blockchain based KYC verification because everyone monitors the KYC verification process, and any change that can be immediately noticed. While it might be possible for a hacker to access some sensitive information, should the device be stolen, they would not be able to change the data thanks to the immutability of the blockchain. Though the hackers may steal the device, but it is not possible for hackers to change the data because of the immutability nature of the blockchain. So KYC solution for banks in particular are a game changer, as they offer increased security and customer satisfaction. So we will see some examples of blockchain based KYC implementation. There are some organizations, there are some industries that are using the blockchain based KYC implementation. Some solutions are provided. That solutions we will discuss. So first is Argos solution. Argos provides KYC form submission and screening for errors and fraud cases. It also provides checkups on the customer list with our anti-money laundering global watch list and targeted profile investigation and risk leveling, anti-money laundering report publishing, and whitelist finalization. So headquarter of this Argos solution is in the South Korea or South Korea. This is the actual implementation of the KYC based blockchain based KYC. We will see a few more examples. Then one more example of blockchain based KYC implementation is KYC chain. A B2B managed workflow application that enables organizations to manage their KYC processes for individuals and corporates. So this solution KYC chain, this is the solution provided by one of the company, and it allows the organization to manage their KYC processes for individuals and corporates. So it provides a solution to streamline the onboarding process for the customer. It reviews and processes incoming KYC applications by streamlining workflow and automating the screening and verification process. So headquarter of this company is in Hong Kong. Then one more blockchain based KYC implementation is KYC legal. These are some brand names that we are studying. This one of the brand name KYC legal, which provides a blockchain based KYC service. So it provides a blockchain KYC document verification through a mobile application and verification of identity and documents with a KYC legal agent. So after verification into the blockchain, the user can use the stored data to verify identification for multi-purposes. So after verification into the blockchain, the user can use the stored data. Once the user data is stored in the blockchain, that data can be used for verifying the identity for multiple purposes. The application is available for iOS and Android mobile devices also, and provides B2B and B2C services. And offices of this brand are in Berlin, San Francisco, and Moscow. So students, in this session we have studied the blockchain based KYC verification. We have studied the traditional way of KYC verification. Also we have studied what are the problems with traditional KYC verification and how the blockchain can benefit in KYC verification and anti-money laundering that we have studied in this session. So this is one of the enterprise application of the blockchain. There are several enterprise industrial applications of the blockchain that are in some syllabus, and that you can go on the internet and you can find several enterprise applications of the blockchain in healthcare and in other government organizations and in various industries. If we talk about this blockchain based KYC verification, everything from immutability of blockchain databases to their ability to improve transparency in customer verification, in customer identification will massively help improve the process and reduce fraud. So this blockchain based KYC verification can massively help in improving the process of KYC verification and also reducing the fraud, also reducing the time required for KYC verification, and also reduces the cost required for KYC verification. So government bodies will also benefit as a risk officer, will have better access to data. So the relationship between the financial sectors and government regulators will be more transparent. So this provides the provision for a massive reduction of financial frauds and crimes in the long term. So this is the benefit that the blockchain offers for KYC verification. So students, we will stop here in this session. We have studied one of the application of the blockchain, that is blockchain based KYC verification. Thanks for watching session. In next session we will study one more application of one more enterprise application of the blockchain. So goodbye. Thanks for watching session.